It is Spirit TV that you are watching right about now. My name is Simon Masanyu. We are committed to transforming lives, and this time around we are rebranding here. We are adding in more spices. We are spicing up Chit Chat, at least to reach out to a wider audience, because we are known for business side, advertising the business, showing you what is trending in the market, kari. But this time around, we are not letting the business side go. Please quote me well, but we are rebranding it to a wider picture, yeah, socially, economically, and spiritually. So if you are doing something that is transforming society, you're doing something of significance, you have a noble cause you are pushing, yeah, we shall give you a platform and come and profile you on this show. If you're doing something economical, if you have a big shop, if you have a big product you are launching, if you're into business, what are you selling? That is our niche. We come also and interview you. And if you are in the spiritual aspect, you're a pastor, you have a ministry, there is something you are doing in your ministry, you'd love to give it platform, you'd love to come out and let people in about what you are exactly doing to edify the body of Christ. We're also interested in you. But today, ladies and gentlemen, on the show, I have a seasoned author. I have someone that is very knowledgeable, deep in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and has used that gift to transform many lives through authoring books. And that is what we are to talk about today on the show. He has authored so many books, but today we're concentrating on a particular subject, which is he is very much interested on authoring, and has authored over 4 books on this particular subject of self-discovery. I'm privileged to have this man of God. I'm privileged to have the senior citizen of our motherland, Uganda, on the show. It is my distinguished honor to have you, sir.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Yes.
It's a great pleasure for me too.
I'm very excited.
Likewise.
That I have you today.
Likewise.
On the show.
Sure.
My viewers are excited to know this perfect gentleman I have on the show.
Thank you very much, my colleague, who is actually giving me this platform, Simon. I'm really privileged to be here at this time. I know the viewers watching are watching from all over the globe, and I welcome them warmly. So whatever your time might be, we are here in Uganda and enjoying the nice sunshine. Luyera Francis, that is my name. Or in full, it is Francis Xavier Galuoko Luyera. So I started schooling. There was a primary school there. When I completed my primary leaving examinations, I joined a secondary school at Kitovu. It is up to now still a prestigious school, St. Henry's College, Kitovu. That's where I did my O-level. And upon completion there, I came back to the city at Old Kampala Secondary School, and I did my A-level. From there, I joined the National Teachers College, Kyambogo. By then, it was the one and only National Teachers College, and we were just a handful of students there taking education. Actually, I was privileged that upon my completion, on the graduation day, I got a handshake, physical handshake, from the then president of the country, who was Dr. Milton Obote. You can imagine what it is like today when students are graduating, and they're just reading their names.
Masanyu.
You are not even seen by anybody. But for us, it was a physical handshake and then handing over a certificate to you. So I bring in this because I know at some point in our discussion we shall have it. Then thereafter, I started teaching initially at Trinity College Nabingo, but I moved to several other schools. I will not mention all of them. But finally, while still in the circles of education, I joined an NGO which is in charge of welfare for children. So this NGO is called SOS. Some people who have heard about SOS, it has homes in Uganda. So SOS Children's Villages had a home at Kachiri, the first one of its kind. And I joined as the director, but also working as the father figure for the children. So when I was there, I was actually privileged to become a father to so many children. So up to now, these are my children who refer to me as their tata. So this all worked out while I was also growing, that by the time I clocked 50, I felt I had reached I refer to that as my equator in terms of age. You know, because when you're at 50, you can never think you'll have to double your age again. When you are young, you can double your age. If you are 20, you say, yes, at 40, I'll be able to do that. But once you are 50, then doubling is over. There is nothing you can talk of in line of doubling your age.
It is winding up.
It's winding up. If you have not done it, then you have not done it.
Yes.
So at 50, I resolved to go into, to lead that part of my life differently from what I had been living. Because initially I was in formal employment. So now I said, this is the time to make a turnaround, and I go into being a freelance, to do my own business, to do things according to my rhythm. Indeed, I never knew at that time that actually I was entering into what seriously could be called self-discovery. Because for me, I wished to come out and do things according to my rhythm. But it rhymed very well with what I picked on, and understood that this was the self-discovery concept, whereby somebody moves in to do what is passionate about. You discover yourself, and indeed in the course of discovering yourself, you are likely to come out with things which you are passionate about, which you can follow, which you can act upon. And once you do so, there are several rewards which come with that. Among them, one, you'll be able to get self-identity. Like now, I can be identified as an author. Some people are identified as actors, others are identified as architects, whatever it may be. That self-identification is one of them. Then, of course, this comes along with the self-esteem, which you yourself will be feeling. When you talk about something you are proud about, then the self-esteem increases.
Incredible.
Then you'll be able to also enjoy that freedom of, as I said, having a voice and choice in what you are doing. Because oftentimes this is not possible. We do things because we're supposed to do them. But here you now do things because you like or you love doing them.
Okay.
And lastly, maybe
Yes.
you also get what we call the peace of mind. You know, peace is very important. Just to sum it up, you find that even when a dead person is wished peace, we don't wish them other things, you know.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Because peace is very paramount.
Very paramount indeed. So in brief, this is what I can say about myself. I'm married, have a family, we live at Insanji, and I have children and grandchildren.
What a pleasure to have you on the show. Mr. Francis Xavier Luyera, an author. At 50 years, he chooses to take a different path from the kind of life that he was living. And that's what we are here to talk about today. The gist of the show is self-discovery. I don't know what you understand by the term self-discovery. I don't know how you would define it. I have the author. We're going to dive deeper into what self-discovery is and what you ought to know. Are you too late to discover yourself? At what age should one discover themselves? Is there a time where you are too late to discover yourself? That and more is what we are to dive deeper into in our next segment. My name is Simon Masanyu. I have Mr. Luyera Francis is an author, is a professional teacher. He's done quite a lot of things. At 50 years of age, I wanted to say he reached the pinnacle, but he said he was just starting. That is when he ventured into self-discovery. And on this very topic of self-discovery, he has authored 4 books that I'm holding right now. One is The Missing Link, and then we have The Color of Gold, and then we have Meaning Real Business, and then finally we have The Difference That Makes the Difference. The titles are a bit confusing and they are intriguing. So now that we have the author, how about we dive deeper and get to know the meaning and give you a sneak peek into what he exactly wanted to address in every book that I am holding and now.
Thank you very much, Simon. Actually, as we dive deeper into self-discovery, I must say it is not a subject we can exhaust
True.
in the 30, 41 hour we may have today. However, I'll briefly, bring out the special issues about self-discovery, which may probably promote it further for anybody. To start with, my discussion is mainly concerned with how self-discovery can relate with innovation. So innovation, how is it related with self-discovery? Or talk of creativity. In addition also, I would like to see how self-discovery can be related to self-employment, or call it even job creation. And last but not least, I would also like to relate self-discovery to schooling or formal education. So around those 3 areas is where we shall be actually conducting all our discussion.
Thank you so much. To my audience that are watching right now on Spirit TV, I want us to break them a little bit down, not to look complex or very complicated for them to understand. But since you earlier mentioned that we cannot exhaust it, all the content in the limited time that we have now on the show. For starters, someone watching us, what is self-discovery?
Oh, yes. Briefly, like it is said on these books, it is to discover, develop, and deploy your potential. Briefly, that's what I can say.
Develop.
You discover.
You discover first.
Yes. And you don't leave it at that. You develop what you have discovered, but also you go further to deploy it. Make use of it. Because it's no good just discovering something and leaving it there.
Discover. Let's start with discovering.
Yes.
Discovering. How do you discover?
Exactly.
How do you discover yourself, and in what aspect do you discover that?
The discovery is when we talk of going into the depth of your heart. The heart is the seat of all our emotions, our feelings.
Yes.
And nobody can deceive one's own heart. You may deceive people around you, but you cannot deceive your heart. If you are happy, your heart will tell you you are happy. If you are not, it will tell you are not happy. The rest can just be show off. So once you go into the depth of your heart, it means that you bring out issues. In fact, the heart is looked at as the most important organ, leave alone the organ biologically, but what has the issues of our lives. They are seated in there. The love, which you can talk about. The courage is in there. When you talk about sympathy, somebody is this, always we refer to the heart. And you say, so-and-so has got a big heart. He has a good heart. He has a bad heart. So all these relate with the heart. So which means that the heart defines us. And once you go into that heart, you'll be able, you yourself now, to fish out what makes meaning for you. And especially, as I said, in relation with what is passionate about you. What do you feel passionate about? If this happens to me, how do I feel? When you are choosing a profession, you may choose because of, like when you are in school, for instance, you have studied maybe sciences, you choose a profession. But as you go later in life, you may come to a time when you even change from the science you studied and you come to do something totally on the art side because that is your passion.
So that is discovery.
That is
you
the
discover what
discovery.
you have interest in,
Exactly.
comfortable about,
Exactly.
and you come to a realization that I was created for this.
Exactly.
You've discovered yourself.
There you
then
are.
you go to the next step of developing the discovery.
Sure. Because if it has to make meaning for your life, we are out, the ultimate objective of self-discovery is to transform our lives. And not only our personal lives, but also society. So that is why self-discovery should not just be left there as something you have discovered and there it is. No, you develop it, and as you develop it, it's an ongoing process. You deploy it, you make use of it. You said it right in the beginning when you said yes. Everybody could be looking for a platform where you can actually have a way in which you can impact on society. All of us, irrespective of whether you are maybe a pastor or you are an architect, you are an engineer, you are an artist, you are an actor, we all impact something on society. And you can only do it best when it comes from right inside you, when it is not just artificial, So that is why I said I want to relate this to innovation. How? Because when you talk of innovation, one will pick on something he's passionate about. All the innovations we are seeing around us were made by people who felt that, yes, deep inside me, I have this quality. Maybe it is in engineering, maybe it is in construction, maybe it is in art and design. He works on that, he acts on that wholeheartedly. And also outright, I would like to say that innovation is not only to do with the technology, as sometimes we are made to imagine. No, innovation is for all. In fact, it is an open, wide area for anybody, irrespective of your age, your sex, your gender, your education background, whatever it may be. Anybody can innovate anything. And people can yes.
Allow me interject because I need to play very well with time,
yes.
and such that at least our viewer gets to know, at least get a sneak peek into what we have in package for them today. We have the 4 books that you have authored on this subject of self-discovery, focusing on creativity,
yes.
and innovation,
yes.
and employment,
yes.
something like that. So we have 4 books here.
That's right.
First, let's start with the difference that makes the difference.
Exactly.
To people that will probably look out for these books and get in touch with you, what should they expect in this book?
When you look at this book, I hope maybe they'll be able to see something right on the cover.
Please, yes.
There are 2 similar words. Difference, which is repeated even at the end.
Yes.
And to identify or to distinguish between the 2 words, one was written the other way around. And some people, whenever they look at this book, they say, hey, was this a mistake on the cover or what is it? I let them know, you have started reading that book. Because at the end of the day, this book is supposed to bring out something from you different from the way you have been looking at things. The way you have been looking at things, including your own life, is what we want you to transform and look at it from another approach, another angle. Always things are done and we can keep changing the approach. Because they're the same things in life. But you'll find that somebody has done it differently. So when we talk of the difference that makes the difference, it means come out to seek that uniqueness in anything, in you, in something, which is, like we say, thinking outside the box. Look at things from another angle, another approach. Self-awareness only comes when you have seen yourself differently from the way you have been looking at yourself all along. And each time, not once, the way you were yesterday is different from the way you're going to be today and tomorrow and so on. So that is why we talk of the difference that makes the difference. Bringing out that difference, if I may even talk about the young people who are craving for celebrity. Celebrity is not anything so big, difficult to achieve. Yes, anybody can achieve celebrity. How? Just do the ordinary things in an extraordinary way. That is the difference which makes the difference. You are doing the ordinary things, but you are doing them in an extraordinary way. And there you are. You'll be on the top of the world. You'll be a celebrity.
So the difference that makes the difference, it teaches you how to think differently and discover how you can do things differently, or how you can see things in a different perspective.
Exactly.
You know something about the missing link.
Yes.
The missing link.
The missing link is actually for the School of Former Educated Fellows.
Yes.
Because you may ask yourself, when you go to school and you cover like 20 years of schooling up to when you come out of the university, you have covered quite a lot in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of exposure. So much has been, given on to you. But it is so surprising that when the people leave the university, graduates, they feel like they are empty. They are helpless, if not hopeless. And then you wonder, what is not right? What is that they never got when they were schooling that they cannot now be able to cope with life outside? So we talk of people who may be successful in school and probably a failure in life. Isn't this happening?
It is happening.
Yes.
You find someone that has spent 25 years in school,
yes,
and then on coming out, we expect them to have gained a skill, honed a particular skill, at least in a particular field. But at 25 years, someone graduates, and guess what? They cannot put nothing on table. They cannot start nothing for themselves.
Exactly.
And here is a P2 graduate, a senior one dropout, doing life, innovating, creating, starting up great business projects. And you're like, what is the missing link between?
So the missing link in that aspect is what we call the taking personal initiative. People go to school, they study, they get all the knowledge, but they miss out on undertaking personal initiative. I can give you a very simple example. Do you know that there is a primary one child, P1 child, who started an NGO? NGO. NGOs are prestigious, workplaces for people. The students who are studying social sciences are craving to once working with NGOs. Do they know that there is an NGO which was started by a 6-year-old kid? How? Because for that kid he had what we call personal initiative. The kid is called Ryan, R-Y-A-N. And he started by just listening to his teacher, who was telling them about children who are suffering because they don't have clean water in developing countries. But this child was touched, and he said we should do something about these children. So he went to his parents and told them, can we raise money? Then the parents were saying, no, we cannot afford. He said, no, give me work to do. Let me wash the car, let me do this. And he would be given a bit of this pocket money. Then he would take to the school, to his teacher, and say, look, you told us about children who are dying because they don't have clean water. I want to raise money for them so that we can give them clean water. The story is long, but to cut it short, this boy managed to realize his dream when he was 12 years old. And his dream was established here in Uganda, where his first well was dug, a borehole in northern Uganda.
Amazing.
And it is a story you can go and search about on the internet.
Incredible story. I have other 2 copies. I have other 2 books, Meaning, Real Business, and The Color of God. time might not allow us to delve into the content of these books, but now that I have the author, I'm going to task him to tell us how to get in touch with him, his social media platforms, his number that you can call on directly. And before probably we call it a wrap, Mr. Luyera, I would like to engage you in your success projects ever since you started this, probably in 1 minute, straight to the camera, how you've managed to discover yourself and help others discover themselves. And of course, on the other perspective of carrying on the mantle to others, what are you doing? Are you into conferences? Are you into seminars? What are you exactly doing to take this from the books to practical or to practicality?
Exactly. So thank you very much. Indeed, actually, that's why I wrote these books. These, by the way, I call them handbooks. They are not books like textbooks which we read in in school education, because they are referred to as simply books which give you basic instruction about something. It's like a manual. So one of the things I did, having realized the value of self-discovery, is to bring out this subject up for anybody to internalize. Because the best way for somebody to get knowledge about something is when you can have a reference. So these books are a reference about the subject of self-discovery. So anybody can access them. They are available on demand.
Okay.
Of course, if you need them, like, you'll get our telephone numbers, you call, and then we can make the delivery. Nowadays, much of the selling is going on online. So this is one thing I did, having realized the value of self-discovery, and I never kept it to myself. And it is now a big campaign I want to undertake. I'm undertaking it already, though single-handedly, to see that I can reach out to more and more communities. I've done so already. I've been to some, schools, institutions, some social clubs, Rotary clubs, whereby I have sensitized them on this subject matter, knowing that the moment I do, they are also going to replicate it. Because at the end of the day, we want to see that each and everybody can actually see meaning and value out of self-discovery.
Amazing.
It would transform our society faster than what we are doing now. Because sometimes all we are trying to do, the interventions which you bring, are not sustainable. The sustainable, intervention you can use is to enable somebody to discover oneself.
Amazing. How can they get in touch with you online?
They can get in touch with me online. I have my telephone number, of course,
okay,
which will be displayed.
Okay.
Then I have a website.
Okay.
I hope that too will be displayed.
Give us the website.
The website is www. Then you write one long word, which is easy to grasp and apply.
Easy to grasp and apply.
Exactly.
www.easy-to-grasp-and-apply.com.
Okay.
Yeah,
because the meaning is that, this is something anybody can understand.
Then on social media?
On social media, I am on WhatsApp.
Okay.
And LinkedIn.
Okay.
And I hope I'll even be opening up other.
What is your
media.
username there?
The username on WhatsApp is my number, of course.
Okay.
For the rest, I think they'll be provided when you see the display of the books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us.
You are most welcome.
It's a pleasure. This is a very sensitive topic.
Thank you.
We so much believe that if people can grasp this, people can take an initiative to self-discover themselves. But if you want to get to that point where you want to discover yourself, you can get in touch with Mr. Luyera on the number on the screen. You can always get in touch with him on the numbers on the screen. Otherwise, from us to you, we want to wish you a blessed evening. God bless you. Blessings. Shalom.
Woo!